Welcome to Ground Up Growth, where we share entrepreneurial insights, business strategies, and personal growth lessons to help listeners build success from the ground up.
Welcome back to Ground Up Growth. This is episode 25. I have a good friend, Jon David Johnson, here. He is the owner of the Vet Depot in Flora, Mississippi. Jon David, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one right here. So
fun.
Jon David he's got all the awards. He's top 40 under 40, best vet clinic in Madison County. He was vet of the year?
Young Vet of the Year.
Young Vet of the Year. I mean, I don't know what else you can do under 40. So thank you so much for coming on. Jon David, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how old you are, your family. Let's get in the weeds.
Well, thanks for having me on. Honored to be here. I am originally from West Tennessee, a town called Jackson between Memphis and Nashville. And I've got 3 children, a boy, 8 years old, 2 girls, 5 and 3, wife, Madeline. We've been living in around Madison County, Mississippi since 2018. So.
Okay. So how old are you?
33.
33. All right. So you're from Tennessee and you're here in Flora, Mississippi. So we need to bridge that gap. All right. So did you have any jobs growing up?
Yeah. So what brought me here was my wife. But growing up, played football in high school. And when I was, I can't remember all the years, when I was 15, always enjoyed to hunt. And so a buddy of mine and I, we did, I guess my first job would be doing European mount taxidermy, so skull mounts. Mm-hmm. And pretty cool. We did them for individuals, but there was a big taxidermist in my town that we would contract. We did his skull mounts for his clients. So that was pretty cool. I can remember, so I couldn't drive. I was 15. I can remember I learned a valuable lesson doing that. My mom had to take me to the gentleman's house to deliver his deer head, and it was the wrong guy's head. So I had mixed up too. So, just learned a valuable lesson when I was young of, keeping good records. But that was my first job. And then while doing that, I started, and probably my main job growing up was working for a guy doing landscaping. So had a guy named Ricky Long that went to church with us, and he landscaped my parents' house, and I always enjoyed him. He's a nice guy, and I learned so much from him. But I always remember him coming to the house and doing the mulch or trimming the ivy and that sort of thing. And I wanted to go help him. And so I would help him around our house from time to time. And then as I got older, I ended up working for him full time through high school. So the summers and spring and summer, I would work for him and then do skull mounts in the fall. So
nice.
Those are kind of the first jobs growing up.
What'd your parents do?
My dad is an orthopedic surgeon and my mom is an RN.
Okay.
And my whole family's medical. So granddad's an OBGYN, dad's an orthopedic surgeon, mom's an RN, sister's a nurse practitioner. And that kind of plays into a little bit of why I'm where I am, because they were all in the medical field.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So what led you to go to state?
Honestly, it's as simple as this. So I felt like I wanted to be a vet. Like I don't have the story of, I knew when I was born I wanted to be a vet. There's a lot of that out there. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was always around medicine, so I liked that. I like to hunt. I've always had a deep respect for animals, so kind of merged those two. And to answer your question, Mississippi State had a good vet school, and it was the perfect distance from home. So that's the biggest thing. University of Tennessee is on the other side of the state, so it's a long way off. Mississippi State was far enough away that mom and dad wouldn't stop by. That's right. But it was close enough that I could go home if I wanted to on the weekend. Yeah. So that's really the biggest reason I chose that.
Okay. All right. So the vet process, that's pretty rigorous. I mean, what's it, 4 + 3, or how many years are you there?
Yep. So you're in vet school for 4 years. So you do your 4 years typically of undergrad and then 4 years of vet school. Yeah, it's tough to get into. So the way Mississippi State works is they take half of their students that are in-state residents, and then the other half of the seats are for all of the out-of-state applicants. So being an out-of-state applicant is a real challenge to get in. And they look at a lot of things, your experience, your GPA. We had to take the GRE when I came through, which was the the graduate school exam. So there's kind of some things, some hoops you had to jump through to get a seat at the table.
All right. So you did that for how many ever years and came out, you're a vet. What's the next move?
Yeah. So graduated college in 14 at Mississippi State and went to vet school, got in there, graduated vet school in 18. And then, so I met, in this story, I met my wife in college, and she is from Flowood, Mississippi. So she's got a young family. We spent a lot of time down here with her siblings. And so that's kind of what led me to want to be where I am now. So I took a job here in 2018 and started working as an associate in June of 18. So.
All right. So let's see where I want to take this thing. All right. How long were you there before, or did you always have the idea that you want to do your own thing? Because you're the owner operator of the Vet Depot. So I know that was, I mean, I can feel the entrepreneurship in you. I know that was in the crock pot.
Yeah, it was. Point. My goal was to own a vet clinic in some degree by the time I was 30. So I graduated vet school, I was 26. So my plan was 3 to 5 years. I wanted to have ownership. And there's a lot of ways that you can go about that, and we can flesh that out. But I worked at my job from 2018 to May of 2024, and I opened the Vet Depot in June of 2024. So yes, always knew I wanted to own, expressed that, never hid that, never tried to pull the wool over anybody's eyes regarding that, and felt like I had a path to ownership where I was, and that turned out to not be the case. And so, you know, when there were some transitions made at the previous employer, I knew that I was going to have to. The old model is, you know, somebody comes to work for me, per se. I own a vet clinic, somebody comes to work for me. As I get older and I want to start slowing down, that individual would buy into the practice, and over time I would phase out. That's been the business model for decades.
Buy equity in and then.
Correct. And that model has kind of become less common. And so that was my original plan, and that's what I wanted to do. And that didn't work out. So when that happened, I knew I had to completely go out on my own.
Right.
And we can kind of talk about the options there. But
the way it's changed, though, I mean, I'm assuming that's probably private equity. There's so much private equity stuff going on. That's a component, I would imagine, of how things have changed, probably.
Yeah, like a lot of other industries, private equity involvement has changed the historical model of the profession dramatically. Yeah. I think there was a study done. It's an article in the Journal of the JAV, my Journal of American Veterinary Medical Association, and this was in 2023. I think they surveyed 900 associate veterinarians, and 2/3 were working for private equity of some kind, and 1/3 was working for mom and pop shop like me. Wow. So that was in 23. So you can, you know, it's drastically changed.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a whole nother process of, you know, I mean, that's separate from being a veterinarian. I mean, running a business, owning a business, buying land, building a building. I mean, we're doing 2 segments on each guest. I mean, this is a 30-minute segment, unpacking your story, and there's no way we can unpack that because it's 30 minutes of, because I was involved with you on buying the land or helping you find the land, and then that whole process. I mean, that is, I just don't feel like that in my mind, and I don't know a whole lot of vets, but like, that's really not on the chopping block for most people. Like, that takes a lot of risk. There's a lot of variables outside of just being smart and knowing how to sew.
Yeah. That's, we can touch on this. So I knew at that time, when I knew I was going to have to go out on my own to achieve my goals, in my mind, I had 3 options. One was buy an existing practice. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Second would be to lease a space and start a new business. And the third option was what I ended up doing, which was, you know, buy the dirt, build the building, you know, start the business. And there's pros and cons of all of those. The reason I chose to do what I did is, you know, if you buy an existing practice, whether you're in the veterinary field or really any other industry, you're going into a culture that's established and a client base that is established, and usually there is a man or woman that is the head of that entity that everybody knows, and so there's so many. You can't just go in and fire everybody because you don't like the culture and you want to build your own culture. You
Right.
destroy people's lives, but you also don't want to really change your approach to blend with an approach that's established. You're buying a lot of non-tangibles. So there's a lot of things there that I didn't like. The lease space, I was encouraged by a lot of professionals that helped me to do. The downside of that is you have no equity in the building. If it works in the long run, you've got the real estate. If it doesn't work, you've got the real estate.
Right.
So leasing a space was an option, and just didn't blend well with my model. There's some things I would be kind of limited in what I could do if I leased the space.
Well, it's like boarding. I mean,
That's right.
I mean, unless you had a specific veterinarian building to rent,
Yep.
that's not even an option.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah.
I would think those ancillary income avenues from boarding and stuff, we've talked about that before, but I mean, I feel like that's what sets you apart. There's people that probably come to you, just for the simple fact that you board.
Yeah. And it's just, there is ancillary income. There's a lot of headache with it, but it's all in one place. I wanted to, if I had a vet clinic, I wanted to at least be able to offer everything I could to people. If you don't want to board with me, you don't have to, but I'm your vet. I want to be able to take care of your animals in every capacity.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And having a brand new building, people will go, more than anybody, the length people will go to for their animals. So
yeah.
I think just having a brand new building, there's a lot of pros with just fresh new paint. Like, hey, this is the cat's meow.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you get I would argue that if you go to your physician, if you go to your physician in a freestanding building, there's a different feel to that than if you go to a physician that's in a group of buildings, and right. So at least that's the way I look at it. And so, yeah, there's a lot of pros there, but on the flip side of that coin, here I am, pregnant wife, 2 kids. My wife, I made up 95% of the income in my family, and I'm giving all of that up, and I'm taking on bills that I can't fathom. So I'm giving up all my income and simultaneously adding a pile of bills to my monthly responsibilities. So there's a huge downside to it.
That's a major component that, yes, I'm glad you hit on that, because some people likely could just assume you had somebody just inject the money to do that. But
yeah,
you're wearing it like a backpack.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I can remember, I'll tell you this, so things have changed obviously with growth, but I can remember I was so specific on my budget. I wanted to know every penny in medicine, equipment, payroll. I wanted to know my expenses before I took the leap, which was a challenge to do, but we can get into this maybe in the next segment, but there's a lot to
just
that.
Buying the land, you're the only person that I know that I've helped buy land that went and sat out on the property and took traffic count.
Yeah, I did.
You working for MDOT on the side.
Yeah, I have a piece of paper still to this day where I recorded, and I went early in the morning when we would be open and counted vehicles, and I had 2 columns of, what I would consider, nice vehicles versus some that maybe weren't. But
that's
I was
an incredible level of due diligence. That's not throwing a dart at the wall. That's very calculated, and that's what it takes. You can't. Everybody has big dreams and goals and all that stuff, but if you don't sow the time in, you're eliminating so many risks by what you're doing. Because if you would have discovered some things in that due diligence that were like, hey, this ain't gonna work, you wouldn't have done it. Whereas some people just, I like Flora, I'm gonna do this. And,
yeah.
Tell me about, I want to know, because I know we've talked about this on the side, delayed gratification and how that's played a role in your story, and just kind of how it's helped you kind of leverage into things throughout your
Man, that's huge.
career.
And I hadn't put a term to it. I got a lot of that from you, but that's been a part of my life. And The problem you run into with a lot of professional schools is it is rigorous. It is a challenge. It's an accomplishment when you have gotten in and you've made it through a rigorous curriculum and you graduated. You feel like you have earned something.
Right.
And far too often that means you've earned the nice car. You're sick of driving this ratty thing you've been driving since high school. You want the nice shiny car. You want the big house. And so you get a job that's paying a nice salary and you're
deserve
there.
it.
Yeah.
You
And
deserve
so it's just time to start enjoying life because you have been in the trenches to get there. And I would encourage the viewers that if you can fight that and call it keeping up with the Joneses, call it put whatever term you want on it. If you can fight that, you set yourself up to have an opportunity to make investments in appreciating assets or businesses or go out on your own, because there's no way I could have done what I did had I smelled the roses when I wanted to.
Yes.
I'm still not smelling the roses. So, there comes a time where maybe it's time to smell some, but that's huge.
No, I can't harp on that enough. I mean, I know I talked about it on my story too, but like me and Gina laugh all the time because when we had 10 rental houses and our house we were living in was smaller than our rental houses.
I love it.
And people are like, man, is he doing okay? You know, and it's like, brother, don't worry about it, but it's, if you do that, man, the compounding effect of delayed gratification is going to open up so many other doors and opportunities to do whatever you want to do. And you don't have to lean on other people or lean on the bank so much. I mean, it's easy to say and very hard to do.
That's
when your buddies are on the Pearl River wakeboarding and you're mowing your grass at your clinic, it don't taste the same.
Yep.
But
and that's a fact.
If you can kind of focus on the long term, I think there's huge benefits with that. All right, so you got it up and going, which is that's a totally different process. Just going through like utilities and getting them to the site. I mean, like just the whole building process. I know we don't have time for all that, but that is a job in and of itself. So you got it up and going. How long have you been going? How many people you have? Tell me about the depot. Kind of fast forward a little bit.
Yep. So been open 18-ish months. So my joke is I may be the first person on the podcast to go bankrupt after this, but I'm
have
still
a third episode about getting you out of the hole.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still in the early chapter of my life, but been open 18 months, and God has blessed us immensely in people. We have a phenomenal team. We have 8 or 10 folks that kind of rotate through that I would consider full-time employees, and blessed to have some awesome human beings, and we try our very best to take good care of them. Client base has grown, and I kind of have 3 principles. I'm a very simple person, right or wrong. I have 3 rules for anybody. 1, stay sharp at what you do. 2, treat people right. And 3, outwork everybody. And so if you can work hard, treat people right, and be good at what you do, in my opinion, the chips will fall where they need to. So, I mean, those are kind of the 3 I guess driving factors in practice. And it's so far it's worked. It may change tomorrow, but I think we're doing a good job, and we've got a great team.
What do you feel like the Vet Depot, how does it stand out against other veterinarians? Like, what do you offer? What do you think? Because I'm always about like breaking the mold and trying to do things different and leveraging that against my competition. So how do you look at that?
Yeah, I won't show all my cards here, but probably the biggest thing that everybody that is on our team understands is we, the vets, are available. If you bring your dog or cat to us, you're going to have a chance to look me in the eyes and talk to me. I'm not going to get you in, get you out, call you on the phone, leave you a text message. Like, you're spending your hard-earned money with us. You're trusting us. You deserve a chance to sit down and ask me questions. Mm-hmm. So, we try to provide value to what we do. The joke is if I do surgery on a dog and the bill is $350, somebody checks out, there's a lack of perceived value if nobody has communicated what we did. It's a bill that, hey, I took my dog in for X and now I have this bill. But when you sit down with people and you explain, this is what we did, this is the process, this is why we did what we did, this is the decision process that went into this, there's so much more value there. And it's not a trick, it's the truth. And so being honest and transparent and available. I mean, I answer the phones. I don't put people on hold. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'll pick up the phone and somebody says, Dr. Johnson, is that you? And I say, yeah. Well, what are you doing answering the phone? And it's like, I mean, it's my business. Like,
Right.
I'm going to answer the phone if it's ringing, and I can. So just, rolling our sleeves up is different.
It sounds elementary, but those are things that like people just let go the wayside.
That's
or back to the point of delayed gratification. Like, I've earned it.
Yeah.
I've earned the opportunity to delegate this.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that white coat syndrome. I'm the doctor. I'm not going to clean those fecal loops. I'm not cleaning that run. You go do that. Like, we lead by example.
Dude,
I'm not better than anybody else.
To me, like, yes. I mean, if I was the manager of Chick-fil-A, I'd be in there flipping tenders or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
lead by example.
They just, that's really good stuff. All right, so we're about out of time on the first episode, but I want to know. I know you probably got something in the crock pot cooking, and you don't have to give us your cards, but I know your mind's always forward thinking. Do you have anything?
Yeah.
Well, y'all recently did the Depot Direct. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's
kind of another thing, kind of breaking the mold. Hit on that.
Yeah, so love the out of the box thinking, and this last year we launched Depot Direct, which is a way to make clients' life easier in a nutshell. But there's a lot of animals that are on cardiac medication, allergy medication, heartworm, flea and tick, like any kind of, I got to go to the vet to get X, Y, or Z. I don't need to see the vet. I just got to go pick something up. In a world of convenience, that's a problem that everybody faces, and the solution we came up with is we'll ship it to you. So Depot Direct is a way that I can ship you non-controlled substances that you need within the realm of a veterinary client-patient relationship. There's some legal terms there, but yes, it's a pretty neat offering that you're not seeing, to where we're trying to provide big box store convenience while you're supporting local business, and it's been a good thing.
That's awesome.
And there's things, there's a lot of things in my mind going forward. I mean, I'm certainly not done growing. I'm not done with my plans. It's in the end of the story for me, and I won't get into those things, but I've got some good ideas.
That's awesome. Well, man, I've really appreciated this, and this is only the first part of the two parts, but you take very good care of our dog, and heck, I've been a patient of yours. I had a kidney stone with you, and I rode to the hospital with you driving.
Ambulatory services.
So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. It's a huge honor. I don't feel like I deserve it, so thank you.
Oh, come on.